Hello and welcome to my Winifred Sanderson hair hat tutorial. Finally getting this one out to you guys. Thank you so much for your patience. I had such a positive response from my last video tutorial for the Harry Potter sorting hat, but I had a lot of people reach out and ask me if I could provide them with a written version of the pattern. I guess a lot of people prefer a written version rather than watching videos, which I understand. Even though I did include the written instructions in the pattern, people just want a written version that they can just click on, download, and that's that. So I'm happy to do that for you, but that is going to take up quite a lot of my time to do that. So when I do put a new pattern out, obviously you can watch the video and that will be free. Or, or you could even go through and write down the instructions yourself watching the video. But if you really want a written pattern, I will provide one over on Ravelry, but there will be a small fee associated with that just because it really does take me quite a long time to sort these things out and it's a lot more work for me to do. I don't mind doing it. If you do head over to Ravelry and purchase that pattern, then that will be supporting my channel anyway, so you can do that. If you want to just support me, you can click on that. Otherwise, the pattern's available here free, so you can just watch the video. So I'm going to be doing this, I think I'm going to be doing this from now on. I will be putting these patterns on Ravelry in written format for a small fee. So thank you for watching, and here we go. So for this project, you will need a 6.5 mil crochet hook, and I am using 2 different strands of DK weight yarn. I won't bother to go into detail about the colours because I'm Australian and these are from my local Australian yarn shop, and they're probably not available to you if you are not Australian, which most of my subscribers aren't. If you are Australian and you would like to know exactly which yarns I'm using, please just leave a comment in the comments below and I will be happy to inform you of that. So you can use any medium weight yarn, I'm sure would work for this. So I'm using DK weight as that's the Australian standard, but if worsted weight is easier for you to come by, that should work fine also. So we're going to be working the 2 strands together. For this project, I've chosen a burgundy colour and a red to work together because I found that the best contrast. So have a play around and see what works for you. Make up a couple of swatches, that's what I did, and to get the right colour, you might even have it in your stash already. So these ones were already in my stash. So ready to begin round 1. So to begin, we're going to start with, usually we do a magic circle, but Gypsy's a bit lazy and she doesn't like the magic circle because it took me a long time to learn the magic circle, and then once I did, I was still resistant. So this might be easier for you. It's much easier for me. So draw a loop onto our hook and we're going to chain 2. So 1 and 2. And we're going to use this first big loop as our magic circle, and the second chain that we did is just, he's just a nothing, he's a nobody, we don't count him. So in order to do a half double crochet, we're going to work half double crochets into our magic loop. So half double crochet is a yarn over into our magic circle, pull up a loop, yarn over a second time, and pull through all 3 loops. So that's our first half double crochet, and this is our little nothing stitch here that we're not going to count. So we're going to do 11 half double crochets in total. So here's 1, 2, whoops, that's the thing about working with 2 strands of yarn, it can be a little bit tricky if you're not used to it. My advice there would just be to take your time and go a little bit slower. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so I'm just going to check to make sure that I've got 11 because I'm not very, because before I tighten that loop, because it's going to be hard to put in extras if I'm off count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and my nothing stitch over there. So I'm going to pull this one, these stringers at the back, pull them nice and tight to close up our magic circle. We're ignoring him and we're going to slip stitch into this first half double crochet that we made. There we go. And that is the end of round 1. So now we're going to begin round 2. So to begin round 2, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to work right in this same stitch that we slip stitched into in the previous round. That won't always be the case, so just be sure that you're paying attention at the beginning of each round to see where we're beginning. So we're going to do a half double crochet in there, so that's our 2, that's it, that one's counting as a stitch this time. So that is our, that makes it a half double crochet increase, which is 2 stitches in the same stitch. So we're going to do that the whole way around. So we're just going to be half double crochet increasing around. So I'll show you again. Half double crochet increase just means that we're doing 2 half double crochets into the stitch rather than just the one. So we're going to continue that the whole way around, and then I will meet you back at the end of round 2. Okay, so at the end of round 2, you should have 22 half double crochets, but when I do the editing, I will put the total stitch count so you can check and make sure that you're at the right stitch count after the end of each row if you prefer to count. So we're just going to slip stitch into that first beginning stitch like so, and don't worry about our loop here if he comes a bit loose, because I'm pulling quite tight, because when you work with 2 you have to pull it fairly tight, so he tends to come unwiggled, but we'll fix that at the end, so don't worry too much about that. So now we're going to begin round 3. So for round 3 we are going to chain 1 as we have done in the previous rounds. In the last round we started in this first stitch. Now we are going to start into the next stitch. So we're skipping this one that we slip stitched into and we're starting in this second stitch. So the reason for that, we're going to be alternating back and forth, and the reason for that is so that we get a nice blended seam on the hat and it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. So yeah, that's the way I like to do things. So the repeat for round 3 is going to be 1 half double crochet, skipping this one into this one, and then 1 half double crochet increase, so 2 in the next, and that's it. So we're going to do that the whole way around. 1 half double crochet and a half double crochet increase. So continue on doing that, and I will meet you back again at the end of round 3. Okay, so now we're just going to slip stitch to join. There we are. And that is the end of round 3. So moving on now to round 4. So for round 4 we're going to chain 1. And we are going to start this round in our joined stitch. So we're going to half double crochet in there. And our repeat for this round is going to be 2 half double crochet and then a half double crochet increase. So that's one in the next, and then our half double crochet increase. So continue this pattern of half double crochet, half double crochet and half double crochet increase all the way around, and I'll meet you back at the end of round 4. Okay, so now we've come to the end of round 4. We're just going to join again with a slip stitch. And we're going to begin round 5. For round 5, we're going to do the same chain 1 that we do at the beginning of each round. Now, the previous round we did start in the same stitch that we slip stitched into. So for this one, we're going to start in the next stitch. So skip the first one into the next one with your first half double crochet, like that. So the repeat for this round is going to be 3 half double crochet and then a half double crochet increase. That's the first one. 2, 3, and then a half double crochet increase in this one. And we're just going to, whoa, try that again. There we are. So we're just going to continue that pattern all the way around, and I will meet you back at the end of round 5. Okay, so that is the end of round 5. We're just going to join that one with a slip stitch, like so. And this is how it should look at this point. So round 6 is going to be a little bit different. So we're going to chain 1, and we're going to half double crochet into this first stitch, the same one that we slip stitched into. We're going back to that one. So we've got that first one, so that's our first stitch. Now from then we're going to do 12 half double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then we're going to do an increase in number 13. So we've got 13 half double crochet, and then it's actually the 14th stitch that has the increase. So we're going to do that again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then we're going to do another increase. Then again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then an increase. Okay, so from this point, we should only have 12, 13, so we should only have 13 stitches rather than 14. So for this one, we're going to just do it with 1 stitch short. So we're going to do 12 half double crochet and then the half double crochet increase into the final one. So we're doing 12 instead of 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and the increase in that one. Then we'll slip stitch to this one, so skip that little duty stitch at the first one. There we are. And that's how we should be looking at the end of round 6. So that's all of our increasing. So now we're going to begin round 7, and we're going to do the same thing from round 7 all the way through to round 16. So we're going to chain 1, so here's the tricky part though. So we're going to chain 1, and so on the previous round we started in the same stitch that we slip stitched into. So for round 7 we're going to start in this next stitch. So we're just going to do half double crochets the whole way around until round 16. But at the beginning of each, we're going to have to alternate back and forth. So I need you to pay attention and keep track of which one you're up to. So round 7, you'll be starting in the next stitch. Round 8, so a good way to think of it is for the odd numbers, we're starting in the next stitch, and for the even numbers, we're starting in the same stitch that we slip stitched into. So you're just going to do half double crochets all the way around with absolutely no increasing, and we're going to do that until row 16. So no more increasing for now. So that will take you a little while, and I'm just going to, and I'll meet you back here at the end of round 16. But it's very important to remember to alternate those first stitches to get that lovely seam on your hat. Okay, so now that we've done that part, we're just going to try it on. So just pop it on your head, and mine I know is going to fit because I've made a few of these now. So ideally you want it to come to the bottom of your ear. So you can see my ears there. That's where you want your hat to sit. If it doesn't and it's a little bit short, just add another row or another couple of rows until you get to the desired length, but do not fasten off yet. So we're just going to add a little peak at the front. So don't fasten off, we're going to do that right now. Okay, so when you've reached the desired length, what we're going to do is just add a little peak at the front like Winifred has. So in order to do that, we're just going to chain 1, and then in that same stitch we're going to do a half double crochet, like so, and we're gonna do 5 half double crochet across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we're going to chain 1. We're going to turn our work around to the other side, and then so we've got 5 stitches here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to double crochet 5 stitches together. So to do that, we're going to yarn over, go into the first one, pull up a loop, then we're going to yarn over, we're going to pull through the first 2 loops, or 4 loops in this case because we're working with 2 yarns, and then yarn over again, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over through another 2, yarn over into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over into the next one, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over into that last one there, which sometimes this one can be a little bit tricky to get into, yarn over through 2. Now you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops left on your hook, or 12 loops because we have the double yarn. So then we're going to yarn over one more time, and this time we're going to pull through all of those loops just like that, and then we're going to do a slip stitch to finish that off, and then we're going to fasten off. So that's our little peak at the front. So just double crocheting all of those stitches together. So I'll get my scissors and I'm just going to cut that, pull that through there, pull it tight, and we're going to weave that in at the end. You could do it now or you can do it at the end. That concludes the beanie part of this hat, and also concludes the first part of this tutorial. The link for part 2 of this tutorial will be in the description box so that it's easy to find. So click on that one to take you to the next stage. Next we're going to be making the little buns, fuzzy buns.